Video signing off from Kampala, here in Uganda.
International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's edition of Today on One. I'm Maggie Forciedo. In the news tonight, President Geingob celebrates selfless courage of Namibian heroes and heroines. Deputy Minister of Health dedicates Heroes Day to frontline workers. Nampower donates PPE as token of appreciation to frontline workers. Charcoal production training concludes. And round up Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the weather. Now for the news in detail. Speaking at the occasion of National Heroes Day, President Geingob celebrated notable Namibian leaders such as Chief Hosea Kutako, Reverend Michael Scott, Umburumba Kerina, Hans Biekers, Darire Tundu Kodengudi, Dr. Sam Nyoma, Chief Hendrik Samuel Witbooi, Hendrik Witbooi, Andimba Toivo Yotoivo, and Simon Kakungua, who were victim to brutal treatment by apartheid South Africa's illegal occupation of Namibia. Hendrina Kanyolo has more.
President Geingob urged Namibians to celebrate the selfless courage of our brave fighters of the liberation struggle and to commit ourselves to building their remarkable legacy, just as they continued the legacy of those Namibians who had stood up to imperil Germany's colonial rule. The president noted that it is because of them that all Namibians today enjoy the right to vote, the right of workers to a just wage, and to organize in trade unions, freedom of speech and association, freedom of movement, protection of human rights, and all other rights enshrined in the Namibian Constitution. Our national heroes have collectively provided the example and inspiration which has formed the bedrock upon which we have built the Namibian house. It is for this reason that we must never lay to waste what they valiantly fought for. The best way to honor this remarkable patriots is to emulate the qualities that define them. Let us embody patriotism and development within us, an altruistic character whereby we show greater concern for the well-being of others, Geingob added. The president also acknowledged our modern-day heroes, those who have held the front line in our war against the COVID-19 pandemic, such as healthcare workers, law enforcement agencies, and public officials who have, since the onset of the coronavirus, have risked their lives daily on the front line of this deadly pandemic. President Geingob noted that the sacrifices are appreciated, invaluable, and a defense of war, which continues to safeguard the territorial integrity and future of the Republic of Namibia.
It's bigger, it's better. OK owners bring you another big deal weekend with massive savings on Joko Tagless tea bags now a low $26.99. Cremora for only $25.99. Brooks Oros just $26.99. And Baby Soft 2-ply toilet rolls for just $93.99. Get to your OK for more big deals this weekend only. OK, owners you can count on.
The Deputy Minister of Health, Esther Muyangwe, has dedicated this year's Heroes Day commemoration to all frontline health workers who have committed their lives and time to fighting and protecting the country against the COVID-19 pandemic. Joseph Ilonga has this report.
In the face of COVID-19, healthcare and other critical professionals around the world have placed their own safety on the line to safeguard others. As a result, on behalf of the Line Ministry, the Deputy Minister of Health delivered a message of gratitude to all frontline workers, emphasizing that their devotion, commitment and enthusiasm for saving lives deserves to be recognized on this Heroes Day.
We know that we are in trying times, very difficult times, where we are trying to keep the transmission of COVID-19. And of course, I want to dedicate this day to our frontline workers. That is our doctors, nurses, social workers, our ambulance drivers, everyone. You know, this is a battle that we are fighting. And when you are in a battlefield, the soldiers are using their machines and guns and everything. But our frontline workers have been using not only the medication as their guns to fight this battle, but there is one important thing, and that is their dedication, their commitment, their passion for saving lives of fellow Namibians. And for that reason, I want to tell them, all our frontline workers, that as a ministry, we do appreciate what they are doing. They are our heroes, and we want to celebrate their work today. So that's my message to them.
The Deputy Health Minister also encouraged all Namibians who are eligible to be vaccinated to do so, as this is the most effective way for the country to defeat the COVID-19 pandemic.
We have been saying, adhere to the COVID-19 preventive measures. That's a song that we have been singing. Everyone by now knows that, hand sanitizing and everything. But now, most importantly, we want all the Namibians, that those that are eligible, to go and get vaccinated, because that is the only way how we can fight this battle. So as much as we celebrate Heroes Day and dedicate it to our frontline health workers, I also urge the public out there to go and get vaccinated so that we can keep COVID-19 out of Namibia.
Heroes Day is a United Nations recognized national public holiday in Namibia that is observed annually on August 26th to commemorate the start of the Namibian War of Independence at Omungulu Nkombashe on August 26, 1966.
Why do we do it? Cover up, tone down, hide, instead of choosing boldness. Celebrate the skin you're in with Nivea Rich Nourishing. Our triple layered care of deep moisture serum, natural almond oil, and vitamin E enriches your skin for 48 hours. It's time to show off your best skin. Choose to wear your skin with pride every time with Nivea Rich Nourishing.
We've got loads of character savings at PEP. Character tops are only $39.99. More fun for everyone. With character backpacks at only $54.99. Every day is a big adventure when you pack in more action. Life's better with PEP.
Life's better with PEP.
The Namibia Petroleum Operation Association, NAMPOA, donated hand sanitizers valued at 250,000 Namibia dollars and disposable gloves to the Ministry of Health and Social Services to help curb the coronavirus. Hendrina Coniolo has more.
NAMPOA, through its COVID-19 response, has come on board and has pledged to assist the government, especially the Health Ministry, in donating the much-needed necessities for their day-to-day operations.
COVID-19 came upon us unexpectedly. These have been trying times. These have been unprecedented times, and difficult decisions have had to be made by the government, by the Ministry of Health and Social Services, and we believe that the Ministry of Health and Social Services has done a great job taking all into account. We believe strongly that it is important for the private sector to work closely with the Ministry of Health and Social Services to combat COVID-19. It is against this background that NAMPOA continues to contribute towards the fight against COVID-19. Last year, when the pandemic hit, NAMPOA donated $100,000 to the relief fund. It was one of the first entities that made donations to the relief fund. And this year, NAMPOA, we worked closely with the Ministry of Health and Social Services staff to identify low stock levels. Ms. Petronella identified hand sanitizers and disposable gloves as being in shortage. So NAMPOA worked closely with the Ministry of Health and Social Services staff to make a donation of 2,300 liters of hand sanitizers and 30,000 disposable gloves valued at 250,000 Namibian dollars. We'd also like to extend a thank you to the Ministry of Health and Social Services who helped NAMPOA to organize the donation efficiently and professionally.
Surgical gloves and other medical equipment are depleting in most hospitals, making it a global concern, says the Deputy Minister of Health at the donation handover, adding that medical staff needs these products for their day-to-day operations, which are now more essential amidst the coronavirus pandemic.
The outbreak of a pandemic is a global concern, and especially the coronavirus disease of COVID-19, as we know it, has tested the capacity of healthcare facilities to the brim in many developed countries. In a minacious fashion of rapid spread and extreme transmission rate, COVID-19 has triggered a shortage of healthcare facilities, such as hospital bed spaces, ventilators, medical oxygen to patients, as well as the provision of PPEs. Hence, your donation of 465 liters of hand sanitizers, valued at 250,000, and 30,000, which is 600 times 50 pack disposable gloves, to support the Namibian government's efforts towards the fight against COVID pandemic, is an imperative measure for the containment of this menacious pandemic. It is with no doubt that the donated items are daily essential commodities needed for the infection prevention and control of the frightening virus. Hence, as a ministry, we are grateful that NAMPOA donation will enhance the capacity of the ministry's role of providing quality and affordable healthcare services to the public, and subsequently easing pressure on public resources.
The Deputy Minister further urged Namibians to go in masses to get vaccinated to help curb the COVID-19 pandemic in order for Namibia to reach herd immunity.
Certificates were handed over to 23 micro, small, medium enterprises with a total of 69 participants who underwent training on sustainable charcoal production at the Charcoal Village Research and Training Centre in Otjiwarongo, supported by the Ministry of Industrialisation and Trade and GIZ Probats. Selma Tapopi has more.
Over 60 participants received training on how to operate charcoal production equipment, chainsaw operation and maintenance, sustainable burning and harvesting of charcoal and biochar, understanding the charcoal industry, economic value, and environmental laws for improved efficiency and quality products. Explaining the charcoal financing possibilities, the Agricultural Bank of Namibia's research manager notes that the bank is working to introduce the charcoal financing model.
I think from the bank side, we have acknowledged the fact that of course, the biomass industry has got a lot of players, and we have picked the charcoal value chain to focus on the charcoal, biomass to charcoal. Mainly because we have acknowledged, or we have come to an understanding that this is one sector that is quite organized, or industry that is quite organized. It has a lot of players, and those players are having responsibilities to de-risk the industry, and that is what the comfort that we got from the way this charcoal industry is organized. So having of course, the farmers either leasing the farm or owning the farm from which the biomass is harvested. And we have got critical role players such as the charcoal workers and the charcoal processors that are taking off the product. And so that is the market that is there, also tightening things up and reducing the risk across the value chain. And also we have got a very important player that is our export market and also our local market that are the final consumers, not the final consumers, but they are the main markets for the end product, the charcoal product. And of course, we have got the local consumers and the international consumers as well.
2 of the 69 trained participants note that with the skills received, they are now ready to produce charcoal sustainably. Charcoal stakeholders are thus encouraged to contact the trained micro, small and medium enterprises for support with debushing aimed at charcoal production.
I'm not long in this business. I've just started the year before, last year. I've registered my company and I've heard about the charcoal, the industry. And since I'm in mining, I was quite interested because it's also in the field. So I've tried to divert into that direction too. And but for me, I just wanted to do the biochar. So it happens that I ended on the training because I'm a female. I've been selected to attend the training. So I did the charcoal as well as the biochar training. So I would say the training was excellent. NCA did a very good job by training us. It was not me alone that was trained. I could take along a few of our workers. So I've been with my team of 5. We were 5. We got the training. It was not only for the biochar or the charcoal. We were also trained on the debushing side as well as safety side.
It's helped. It's of course gonna help my business because I have trained workers also. All the workers are trained on those equipment, how to burn, how not to burn too much, how not to burn charcoal, the product, and to have the quality product also. So of course it will help my business to grow faster. Is to have the qualified charcoal burners, the charcoal workers, of course, and the capital, the startup capital. It's a problem, and of course the buyers of the charcoal. Those are the challenge because, finding a farm is not a problem because you can just get a farm. There's a lot of farms that need to be bushed and to be cleaned, so it's not a problem. But the problem is the startup and as long as you have also qualified workers and your product has to be of the quality.
The Ministry of Trade and Industry will offer skilling and training to at least 100 micro, small and medium enterprises by April 2022.
We can't wait to be together again. But until then, let's stay safe.
In other leading stories, the city of Windhoek noted that reports on Windhoek Mayor Jobo Mopanda set to earn an increase in his allowance, which is comparatively 5,000 Namibia dollars more than his predecessors, is factually incorrect. In a media statement, the city noted that the council meeting of 7 November 2019 resolved that there would be no increments to the allowances of the councillors, adding that this position was further reconfirmed recently in a directive received from the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Honorable Erastus Utoni, which advised of a zero increment on councillors' allowances for the financial year as per the approved City of Windhoek 2021-2022 budget. It further states that the same information was shared during the budget presentation to the media on August 23, 2021. And FNB Namibia handed over an amount of 100,000 Namibia dollars to Christine Mboma, 80,000 to Beatrice Masilingi, and 80,000 Namibia dollars to their coach Hank Botha. Erwin Chipuka, FNB CEO, said FNB's financial contribution was merely one of the ways FNB Namibia wished to celebrate each of their personal journeys and achievements and to promote Namibia and Namibians in becoming globally competitive. Chipuka added that he was confident that the athletes and their coach would bring a new perspective to everyone in Namibia by showing that the human spirit knows no limit and will demonstrate the true meaning of sports and the true definition of ability. Hank Botha, coach of the Two Stars, thanked FNB Namibia in his address and said that the bank has always been a supporter of sports in the country, adding that he hopes the journey with FNB continues for many years to come.
Stay true to who you are and stay true to Namibia Sounds. Starting September 4th at 7 p.m., Valentine's and 99 FM bring you the True Music Sessions, a back-to-back playlist of our nation's finest artists brought to you by the finest blended Scotch whiskey, Valentine's. Stay true. There's no wrong way.
Joseph Shufeni is standing by for today's Business on One and Economic Indicators.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. I'm your host, Joseph Shufeni. Namibia has been invited to take part at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland in January 2022 to share on the achievements gained through the Harambee Prosperity Plan. This news was announced by the Presidential Advisor on Economic Matters, James Manupi, at a recent engagement between the private sector and senior government officials. He described it as a unique opportunity for Namibia.
The renowned World Economic Forum annual meeting brings together business leaders from across the globe to discuss and engage on issues affecting the economic landscape. Manupi said a delegation from the private sector will join the government to seek new business opportunities.
To the World Economic Forum annual meeting to go and present these opportunities that have been captured in the Harambee Prosperity Plan. Davos is not really a platform for government. It's for you. It's for the private sector. The world's largest CEOs are convening at Davos, and they're saying to us, who are the private sector parties that you're bringing? So as a government and through the NIPDB, of course, we're going to start putting together a Davos committee And this is why His Excellency summoned us today, is to tell you nice and early, and the people of Namibia nice and early, Davos is next year, January. We need a strong private sector contingent to travel with the government, not to go and have coffee, but to announce deals.
Manyupi said that the president has tasked him with finding investment opportunities in the southern part of the country in the areas of renewable energy in preparation for the upcoming United Nations Climate Change Conference in Glasgow, Scotland.
And Comrade President, he whips me. So now on Saturday over weekends, I'm driving to Lüderitz to go and work with the Lüderitz Town Council, the governor of the Karas region, to invite investors from around the world who want to build 5 gigawatt renewable energy assets in the Karas region to fulfill the vision that His Excellency has captured in HPP2. And that's why he's saying even the Americans are talking about Harambee now. And to capture all of that, in November we're going to Glasgow to COP26 to declare our nationally determined contributions and Namibians' commitment to combat climate change. The world is looking to meet with His Excellency. I just came from a meeting this morning where everyone is lining up to try and meet with him. In fact, yesterday he lectured me about presidentialism. He says, I'm not the only one who they should meet. They should also meet other members of cabinet, so the Minister of Energy, etc. This is a type of president that we have. People are surprised. He's championing the rest of cabinet, but also the private sector. HPP2 is full of private sector talk and language, to the extent that my boss says to me, you need to remember which side you're on. And what we're really encouraging the private sector is you must now really wake up and begin to engage us. Because unfortunately, with this green hydrogen potential, Desiree and I were in a meeting yesterday until 7:30. For every one single local person who's interested, there's 10 foreign people.
The advisor said that the private sector remains absent from some of the initiatives created by the government to bring in investors. He urged the Namibia Chamber of Commerce and Industry to join hands with the public sector for their members to benefit from the project. And that is all we have for you. Be sure to join us again tomorrow, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Joseph Parkman was in and out of prison, dealing and doing drugs. Then a drug deal went wrong. Joseph was robbed, handcuffed, and scared straight out of the business. For 6 months, he roamed the streets as a homeless addict. Then one night, in a baseball dugout, Joseph met a stranger who totally changed his life.
I stand in awe of the power of the God who's our creator. And Terry and I sit here on this program, and the Lord speaks to us, and it's the word of knowledge. It's one of the manifestations of the Holy Spirit.
Something not always godly.
Not always, that's right. That's right. Well, there's a lot of negative voices out there.
Yes, there are.
And
so how do you know when it's God saying, Perry, I want to speak this to you right now?
And sometimes you don't know. And I think you pray over it and you think about it. And sometimes you just, a lot of times I'll just envision, as you and I are talking here today, I may envision that I'm here talking with God. And how am I supposed to address this issue?
Okay? Realize Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is the same for you right now. So let's pray. Let's call on his name and let him do the rest for you. Let's pray.
What's up, world? This is Shay, the goddess of the airwaves, on 99 FM, Monday to Friday, serving you breakfast on the ignition between 6 and 9. We brought you to be inspired, taking you to master your destiny. Now it's time to do the work.
Just show up.
Put on your work boots and do the time.
Make it
and then make it better.
Hello world, it's your boy Script here on The Kingdom, where we're reminding you every single day.
Get up. You've got this. Start where you are.
Hey, this is your girl Treza on Hitsville on 99 FM, letting you know it's okay.
Try. Make mistakes.
Ask.
I am Sibo, and I'm going to be with you for quite a while. Thank you so much for joining us here on your inspiration station, where we let you know
there's no easy money, there's no easy job, there's no easy life.
99 FM. Do the work.
Now we look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. A homeless family of 12 in the Ochimise informal settlement finds it hard to get by as they survive only on bones and animal fat that they collect from butcheries. Samantha says more and more people will become homeless. Yvonne says it's so heartbreaking to see people suffer like that. Martin wants to know where the politicians are who keep on making promises. France would like to know what happened to the Ministry of Poverty Eradication. While Nelson wants government to intervene. And the Brave Warriors interim head coach recently called up a 32-man provisional squad to join the camp for the upcoming FIFA Qatar World Cup Africa Qualifier Games with English-based defender Ryan Nyambe and national team captain Petrus Chitembe, notable miss-outs from the squad. The two qualifiers will be played on the 2nd and the 5th of September. Zweli says it will end in tears. Daniel noted that it is not fair, adding that there are better players than the ones selected. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast only on Today on One.
Are you a CMS member? With HospiCash 100, you can get up to 100,000 Namibian dollars cover with a 30,000 limit per event from as little as 100 Namibian dollars a month. We understand that being in hospital can be stressful. That is why with HospiCash 100, you can cover your non-medical expenses by receiving cash payouts when you are in hospital, so you can recover stress-free. Interested? SMS your name and HospiCash to 555 and we will call you back.
This is my favorite gear, cause it speaks for me and all my brothers. Nivea Men Black and White Deo. With 5 times Deo action to protect you and your favorite gear from stains. Try Nivea's #1 anti-stain deodorant. Nivea Men, it starts with you.
The time to unite against COVID-19 is now. Daily statistics have turned into names. Names of people we know, our parents, siblings, grandparents, cousins, neighbors, and fellow countrymen. Help stop COVID-19 in Namibia by getting yourself vaccinated. Vaccines help your body learn how to fight the virus well before an infection. This greatly increases your chances of not falling seriously ill when infected with COVID-19. So, get vaccinated, help kick COVID-19 out of Namibia. Please note, maximum protection from the vaccine is reached 2 to 3 weeks after full vaccination. Hence, the importance to get your second dose. Brought to you by the Nationhood and National Pride Program in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Social Services.
Stay true to who you are and stay true to Namibia Sounds. Starting September 4th at 7 p.m., Valentine's and 99 FM bring you the True Music Sessions, a back-to-back playlist of our nation's finest artists brought to you by the finest blended Scotch whiskey, Valentine's. Stay true. There's no wrong way.
Time now for Sports Update with Taro Musiandaka.
Welcome to Sports on One. I'm Chairo Musiandaka. The 3x3 wheelchair basketball African qualifiers that were initially scheduled for September in Durban, South Africa have been postponed to the 7th and to the 10th of October. The Namibia Wheelchair Basketball Federation president recently updated today on One Sports on why the tournament was postponed, as well as the team's preparation. More on this story from our sports desk.
In a telephonic interview with the president of the Namibia Wheelchair Basketball Federation, Pondo Nailenge, recently, he updated today on One Sports desk on the reasons why the qualifications initially set for September were postponed.
Games were postponed because of the COVID situation in SA, that there were minimum flights restricted into South Africa and out. So during that time there will be more flights, which means more teams can actually attend the event. And so that's why they shifted it to then. It was beyond, I think, their control, but it's based on the flights and the situation because of their lockdown situation, the way it was. I think it was on stage 5 or so, which is like our stage 1. However, we continue with the training sessions. The guys are training at the isolated training grounds, and the Windhoek ones also training at the UN Plaza. So we hope to still have a camp before we depart in October to South Africa, Joburg. That I think we'll be departing then 2 days before or so. Yeah, so everything seems well. And we're just really trying to work hard and also just trying to reach out there to the corporate companies so that they try and support us, as we also just struggling a bit with our finances. With the wheelchairs, we're still liaising. We're still liaising, trying to see if we can get the right equipment and order it from Europe soon. So. Yeah, we're working on that, and we hope that we do manage. If we don't, we'll have to do with what that will also maybe assist international networking and providing us with better networks so we get better products. Yeah, but we're really hoping that everything works out well, because we're busy ordering. We're busy supposed to order. We have the budget made out, but we're just soliciting those funds together so that we have those goods ordered in advance.
Nailenga also noted that the postponement will allow the team to work on its preparation for the qualifiers, further adding that the players selected are all in good spirit and are eager to bring out their best.
Gave Namibia an advantage because now we could actually prepare much better because of documentations, for example, which were a bit urgent and so forth. Yeah. First, we've been training isolating, but now we're working on having training games in the next few coming weeks. We're planning on that, and then also during September we want to have another camp where the guys will consistently try and have some games for a week. However, because of the restrictions put up by the government, we couldn't do anything other than train in isolation. We would just like to actually call for support. I know that people don't expect anything much, since it's a new federation and also just maybe a new team sport, but it's one of the few in the continent, on the continent, and in the world. So we really ask for corporate companies out there, or any companies who are willing to invest in the social corporate responsibility area with the wheelchair basketball, to go there and try and market the country, but also try and plant a new way forward for the development of wheelchair basketball.
3x3 wheelchair basketball will be one of the events at the Commonwealth Games, which is set to take place in Birmingham from the 28th of July until the 8th of August 2022.
That's all we have time for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow night, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. Back to you, Maggie.
That is all we have from our sports desk. Time now for the weather forecast.
Let's take a look at the weather forecast. First, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. Windy and cold weather is expected in the southern, central and northwestern regions tomorrow, spreading to the northern and northeastern regions on Saturday. Small stock and crop farmers are advised to take the necessary precautions. The interior will be partly cloudy and very cold, with showers and thunder showers in the Karas region and the southwest. Elsewhere, partly cloudy and mild to warm, but fine and hot in the north. A fresh to strong southwesterly to a westerly wind in the interior. The coast partly cloudy and cold to mild, with showers and thunder showers over the southern coastal areas. The wind fresh to strong southerly.
We have come to the end of tonight's edition of Today on 1. Catch a repeat at 9:30 and the Omnibus Saturdays from 9 to 4. From me, Maggie Forcieto, and the rest of the team, till next time, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM. Early this morning, woke up holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. Shades of this motel keeping me in bed, reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day.
I like rhinos. I like them very much. Future here in this area is depending on the tourism. The future generation, they can see and they can benefit from their own resources. Animals like rhinos, elephants, the big five, you benefit from them and it must be respected. You are not feeding the rhinos, you are not giving them order, so it's a free business. I take two of my sons, which was little bit 5 years old. They were young guys. So they asked me questions. Why are we here? Why are we sleeping here? I told them this is our resources and this is our future. My first memory of going with my dad is that I learned new things. As I grow up as a man, I see an opportunity in it. So I decided to look for a job pertaining to tourism. So that's when I was employed at Palamba. So I decided to go for tour guide studies because I grew up with the tourism industry, the wildlife, the rhinos and everything, to bring that experience to the tourists. You can see the hyena. The biggest changes, I was employed, getting paid, and also I can now support my family.
It's a cultural thing. It's coming a long way. Even if you go to area like Treverfontein, area was a lot of paintings. You will see rhino engravings on the rocks. That is an indication that the interaction between human, especially the local communities and wildlife, is dating back. That intimacy relationship is coming for a long time.
We are right here now at Palamba, and Palamba is one of the big lodges in the heart of the desert. And as you can see there is Jumbo standing behind me, which shows it's really a tourist area. We do have elephants, lions, but as you can see the desert is the heart of the rhinos. This is the main breeding area of the rhinos, is what we found here in this desert.
It's the largest free roaming population of black rhinos that you find outside national parks in the world. It's a population that communities in the Northwest have taken responsibility themselves in managing this population with the structures that government has put in place, more specifically the establishment of conservancies.
These people, before independence, they took it upon themselves and decided that wildlife is our heritage, and through history we've been living with wildlife. And having wildlife in your area is like having a garden.
Because of all these animals, we've got the communities that benefit from all this wildlife. And it's like a triangle that fits into each other. And the communities looked after the wildlife doing their own thing, and the communities benefit.
So already there were this intergenerational relationship between mankind and wildlife, and that bond is what our people actually wanted to see continuing.
Very few countries have the wildlife that Namibia has. What is also important is the policies that Namibia has put in place, which also involves communities to be engaged in the management of the wildlife species and also to benefit from the wildlife resources.
Turn conservation into a rural economy, turn conservation into endless opportunities that would actually cater for those young people that have nothing else to do.
If it was not for rhino economy and tourism in this area, it was really difficult for young people to get or find a job.
We are conservation engineers. We make conservation work in an unfenced area, and through that, we want to turn the wildlife into the rural economy that will benefit the rural communities.
So we can see now wildlife is doing very well, the lodges are doing well, and the community is also benefiting. So it takes all three together.
Devastating hit over coronavirus fears. Airline industry is facing its biggest threat to travel since 9/11.
Since March, when COVID-19 hit Namibia, things actually become very difficult. In the first place, all the lodges closed down because of COVID-19. With us, say the Rhino Trust, we had some donors cutting on their funding. And then we had, in the same time, a poaching case of 2 rhinos that was poached. We had less boots on the ground, and poachers could actually see. Now it's our change to go in and do something. So COVID-19 was tough on all of us. Ginger Morning, who is one of our trustees, actually came up with the idea of, why don't we ask you to go to buy some gold for us and make gold bars? And then we sell them for rhino conservation.
I was fortunate enough to have a chance to have lunch with Clive Johnson, the CEO of B2 Gold in Vancouver, Canada. And I looked at Clive and I said, we've got rhinos, you've got gold, let's do something. Let's create a coin or a medallion or a bar using your resource to create a sustainable source of funding for rhino conservation for the future.
There was it. The gold was bought, the bar was made, and I think it was 31st of January that we launched the bars in Windhoek. And suddenly one morning I had an email from my office, from my finance person saying, these people don't have salaries. So I said, oh, what now? So I picked up my phone and I told Mark no. I said, Mark, I've got this problem. He said, but we've got the fund already ready for you. You just have to apply, put a proposal in.
1,000 ounces of gold can make an enormous difference to the livelihoods of the communities that live up there. We are, in essence, providing income and providing a livelihood to the communities. In the absence of tourism, especially now with COVID-19, even prior to that, when we had such a bad drought, the communities became even more dependent on the natural economy.
The idea is to make this a fund that will last for the next 25, 30 years, or even longer. And a portion of that will be distributed immediately as needed. And in this case, the COVID-19 crisis necessitated us to distribute funds to pay salaries to help people in the field.
The proceeds of the sales from the gold bars will be going towards responsible NGOs. And we've identified Save the Rhino Trust as the key NGO. And IRDNC, one of the first organizations that was in the Northwest, integrated rural development and nature conservation, so that ultimately the funds go to the communities and various aspects of their war on poaching.
To be able to support those hardworking men and women that are always in the front line between the poachers and the rhinos.
If it was not for B2 Gold and the golden bars, I think by now we should have been in big trouble.
By extracting the gold, you reinvest it in other renewable resources.
The gold that's coming out from the ground is actually protecting the wildlife that's working on the ground, which is a very good symbol for the others.
I wish this was my bar. This is the 500 gram gold bar. So you'll see on this side you've got the Etindeca Mountains and you've got the mother rhino with her calf. And then on the reverse side, we've got the serial number. You've got the Rand refinery stamp, which is very important. Anywhere in the world, people will recognize the stamp and they will know that this bar contains 99.99% gold.
It is gorgeous.
We wanted to make a biggest contribution. And at Ballowwood, we see that as a way of giving back to the community.
Okay, so there you'll see the 500 gram bar.
Very special.
Feel the weight. It's incredible.
This opportunity which presented itself is absolutely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We're privileged to have this.
This is just absolutely gorgeous, and I think this showcase really what the project is all about.
It's from 24-karat Namibian gold.
I'm looking at these rhinos is put there like Miss World photogenic, I would say.
There are only 1,000 of these gold bars, rhino gold bars, in circulation.
As far as I'm aware, it's the largest single donation of any corporate to the conservation of biodiversity anywhere in Africa.
Therefore, we so much appreciate and would want to continue as a government to work with B2Gold.
And the fact that it's happening here in Namibia is something that we can all be extremely proud about and very grateful to B2Gold.
Thanks to having this literal pot of gold through the funding for the Rhino Gold Bar, we're able to step in now and make sure that those trackers are supported, and so are their families and their communities.
We make sure that people sustain their jobs going forward, and who doesn't want gold?
And the B2Gold Rhino Gold Bar has come in at a really critical time now, particularly with tourism being closed off and those forms of revenue not coming in.
To say we have the biggest rhino population or black rhino population in the world, let it be for the rest of our lives. And it's that heritage that we have, it's our resource that we can all look after and protect.
It's our heritage. And it's also good that other people like B2Gold are also seeing it that way.
It's actually a very nice link between the investor that buys this gold bar, the rhino tracker in the northwest of Namibia, and the black rhinos. It's an intergenerational thing. The rhino trackers teach their children how to track rhinos, their children get taught, and so it flows down.
This is something that I want my children to have, and that we leave a little bit of a B2Gold legacy. And if I can be part of that as part of my family, I'd be very proud.
It can also become an inheritance for the generations of my own clan. My children, my grandchildren.
If we can bring that passion over to future generations and to hand that over to my children, and I hope that that same passion for conservation gets migrated over to my kids.
And what we've done together is create a sustainable source of funding that should outlive all of us.
You know, I think as far as B2Gold is concerned, we couldn't have chosen a better target in which to put our efforts as far as the environmental and conservation pillar is concerned. And I want to stress there that the money that's going towards environment and conservation is actually going towards the people.
Rhino is for all of us, whether you are in Canada, whether you are in Vancouver, whether you are in the US. If you really want to see conservation at play with rural communities, I therefore humbly request each and everyone to join us on our rhino tour and have a wonderful experience. This is what keeps rhinos on this planet.
I've done rhino trekking experience. It was just amazing walking in that landscape of the Kunene. And as we followed them, we could now find rhinos with the calf. We got the closest distance we could.
It's a warning sign.
And it was just amazing and lovely, something to experience that Namibia can offer. It's something that you have to do in your life.
Just believe in me. Just believe